Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Welcome back to the show. We are joined once again by Niyama Love, our owner and operator, Kourtney Koenitzer, and she's going to talk today more about Reiki, of course, and how that corresponds with the yoga she does, meditation. She also does oracle card readings and so much more to help you balance out those chakras. So welcome back to the show. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you so much for having me back on the show. I'm quite excited to be here as usual, for
Same.
sure.
Well, thank you. Same here. So, for new timers, tell us a little bit about you and, of course, what you do.
Amazing. So yeah, so sorry, my name is Kourtney. The business name is Niyama Love, as Jill mentioned, and I'm up here, I should say, in Ontario, Canada. I have a physical space that I operate out of, but I also operate online as well. So a lot of my offerings are available online via Zoom, and you can register on my website at niyamalove.com, and that's spelled Niyama love.com. And then I'm also on Instagram and Facebook. But yeah, a lot of the things that I share are related to Reiki. I also teach yoga classes, like Jill mentioned, and I love bringing all those things together and just seeing how well that they pair together and partnership together. And it's just very, very beautiful. And I love experiencing that and then sharing it with others. So
Perfect. And tell us how we can contact you.
yeah, so my website, as I mentioned before, is the best place to find me and then reach out to me there. But I can also be found on Instagram. So that is my handle there is Niyama Love Yoga and Reiki, spelt all one word. And then also on TikTok, niyama.love.com or ko, sorry, .ko. And then I'm also on Facebook, just Niyama Love.
Well, thank you. And what did you have in mind for your listeners today about the work you're doing?
Yeah, so what I wanted to share today is just how much understanding Reiki and connect, or even just connecting with Reiki or understanding your chakras can really enhance your not only your yoga practice, but if you're someone new to meditation or trying to connect with meditation and finding it difficult to find a say for example reach that goal of clearing your mind. Connecting to Reiki is a really wonderful way to enhance that experience and to really take some of the pressure off of meditation and take some of the pressure off of yoga as well. So, those are some things that I kind of wanted to expand upon today and just kind of share that and how that can really support everyone if they want to connect with Reiki too.
And for new timers, about Reiki in general, right? Because again, just have to focus on the energy healing modality and just share specifically what it is, because not everybody may know.
Yes, definitely. So Reiki, so Rei is universal and Ki is life force energy. So it's just connecting to that life force energy that is within and innate in all of us. It's basically what pairs that mind and body together and keeps everything connected. And really, we don't have a lot of modalities that really connect, or common modalities, I should say, that connect our mind, body, and soul together in a physical way as well. So that's kind of the notion of Reiki, the summary of it. We connect with our individual chakras on an energetic level. There's certain symbols to connect with as well.
Mhm.
And there's three different main, I should say technically four, but three main levels. So one, two, and then a master is able to teach as well as practice as well. So yeah.
All right. Thank you for that. I just know you need a brief overview, of course, as always, for new timers out there. So, where do we start with the diving into for our self-care?
Oh, self-care. It's just a wonderful thing. It's so easy. We all need to do it, but it's so hard to connect with it. And it's so hard to really sometimes immerse ourselves in a self-care experience. So sometimes we kind of get to go through the motions of saying, yep, I did the yoga, or yes, I did the meditation, but sometimes we don't always know how to really embody that. And I think once bringing Reiki into, and this is also a segue into Niyama Love as well, what Niyama means in association to, in relation to yoga, is really connecting with that self-observance and really understanding who we are and how we interact with the world around us through the observance of our interactions. And that's through the way of also non-judgment. And understanding that what we are experiencing and understanding that from a place of non-judgment allows us to really expand and learn more about ourselves, what really brings us joy, and just really have fun with it and play with it a little bit more. And one thing that really supported myself personally on expanding on that was Reiki, just because Reiki, the notion of Reiki is you are in stillness.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you are connecting with someone's typically holding space for you, but you can also practice self Reiki. So if you're trained in a level one, and honestly, even if you're not even trained, if you just get familiar with it, you can practice Reiki on yourself as well to enhance your yoga practice and also your meditation practice, especially if you're someone who struggles with quote unquote, we'll say clearing the mind while you're practicing your meditation as well. So one thing that's nice is that there's a standard practice to follow or that you can follow as a baseline by just covering or not covering, but connecting with each one of your main chakra points. So connecting with the main seven, but then also connecting with the body on top of that. So expanding on top of that. So say, for example, if you're in a meditation, sometimes incorporating physical movement and also incorporating a path to follow during the meditation takes pressure off of the meditation because really sometimes we focus so hard on clearing the mind that it becomes frustrating and then that kind of defeats the purpose of being calm and connecting with that self-care. So sometimes it's nice to have a guided meditation, but if you're someone who wants to try to expand and be a little bit more experience it without an external guide, but an internal guide. If you understand Reiki or even just your chakras and where they're located, sometimes it's nice to just take your hands and place your hands over all the different chakras and see what you're feeling in those while you're experiencing that meditation. So that's a wonderful way to use Reiki or connect with Reiki while you're meditating. And then to expand on that with yoga, once you connect with Reiki while meditating and you start to, you're also someone who practices yoga, you can really see how you may experience a certain pose or a certain posture in a class and start to expand on where you're feeling that from a chakra standpoint as well. Because different poses within the yoga practices also connect with different chakras. So if you're
Okay.
finding it, yeah, so if you're finding one that's a little bit more difficult or more challenging, that might mean that that's actually a chakra that you're working with or that you're expanding on, or that's
Mm-hmm.
really being highlighted or blocked in that moment. So yeah, it's definitely great to understand that to really start to expand on what your body may be feeling in that moment so that that way it brings that more that again it expands on that mind body connection.
Mind body connection. And that's all part of, what you do. And you mentioned, I know, yoga, meditation, and all of this is connected. And you use them, I don't know, how does it work? Together? Is that the word? Or in combination for someone?
Yeah, definitely. In combination, I would say it's hard for me to hold a Reiki session on an individual level without incorporating some breath work and meditation at the very beginning to really connect with the body with the intention of connecting with the body and bringing mindfulness and observance to the body without really completing or without really holding a Reiki session. So it's kind of I don't know. To me, it feels natural to really incorporate all of those together. And even from a meditation standpoint, what I really value during meditations and what I've learned recently with some more, with expanding my education, we'll say education, expanding my practices or knowledge of practices is that sometimes from a meditation standpoint, incorporating movement of the body sometimes allows individuals to remove so much focus on the mind, bring more awareness into the body so that that way by the time an individual will go into stillness, they've already established that connection to the body through movement in a very gentle way. So hard also for myself to have a hold a meditation or a guided meditation without incorporating a little bit of movement, and usually it's a yoga practice or something very gentle in alignment with a yoga practice as well. So and then, of course, at the end of every yoga practice, we have to go into Shavasana and have that moment of stillness and really connect inward to understand the shifts in our body. So it's definitely very interesting that it's all, yeah, very much intertwined and connected and really complementary for sure.
Thank you for that. And at this time, I just want to remind everyone how we can contact you. Niyama Love, Niyama MALOVE.com. And you can go right there to the website. I know we'll talk about the Reiki infused yoga that you have in person, right at the Zen house. I'm just on the website myself. And you
Yeah.
mentioned as one of the eight limbs of yoga, Niyama, and refers to the observance of our relationship both inward and outward. So she's connecting mind, body, and soul here through her Niyama love, right? So that's with yoga, Reiki, and more. So thank you for being here. And what else in particular did you want to make sure we share for today?
Yeah, so just I guess with I could expand on the offering that is coming up that you mentioned. So again, talking about how all of those practices tend to be so complementary, to expand on that even further, observance of our connection to our physical world around us. So for the Reiki infused yoga that's going to be taking place on May 24th, both in person and remotely, um, you can actually connect with yoga, connect with Reiki, and connect with the meditation as well. So it'll start with a very gentle, a gentle yoga practice, not intended to be very straining, but very, again, intended to just bring you into your body, connect inward with the body, and then come down into stillness, or more stillness, I should say, as we go into a meditation that's guided while going over all of the chakras. So, in a way, if you're someone who's not familiar with Reiki at all or not familiar with the chakras at all, this is an excellent opportunity without having to go to take the course to get trained in level one or without having to do any of your own research. You can just participate in this experience and you'll actually have the experience, a guided experience of connecting with each one of your chakras during a meditation. So, you can take that tool back with you elsewhere and you can use it whenever you like as well. So, it's not necessarily just something for an experience in that present moment. It's definitely intended to be a tool that you can connect with whenever you need to as well. And to expand on that even further, I'm partnering with a wonderful local herbalist and also a forest therapy practitioner. So she's going to bring in that elemental and earth energy as well, bringing in that knowledge of herbs and teas to expand on the inward. So we'll be connecting with the inward observance, but she's going to also connect us with the outward and connecting with the world around us. So you get that experience of going inward, connecting with yourself, and then expanding on that by understanding what your relationship is with, say, for example, a certain herb or nature or something in alignment with that. So, definitely going to be a great experience. It's about 2.5 hours long, so it's a little bit of a lengthy experience on a Friday evening, but intended to bring you into the weekend in a very calm, relaxed way. So,
Thank you. All right. I wish I could be there in person. I mean, you can, right?
this is
We
true.
can
Come
come
fly
to
down here.
you. Oh, that'd be great, right? But it is possible. We could do in person too.
Yes, this is true. In person, in locally in St. Thomas is where we're going to be at the Zen House. So that's usually where a lot of the yoga practices and classes are taking place as well, with a couple meditations. However, pretty soon, because the weather is so nice, we'll definitely be going out to the park and getting in nature while we're doing or while we're experiencing all of those practices too. So there'll be yoga at the park, there'll be meditations at the park, just so that way
Yay.
again, yeah, of course, so we're connecting with nature while we're also practicing all of our fun self-care, but also inward observance and outward observance, I guess, when we're in nature.
I love it. I know the weather's getting so much nicer out. It's so nice to be outside. And you also do like private events outside too, right? Or
Yeah.
inside, but you can go anywhere.
Yes, and that's one thing I'm really am grateful to be able to share is collaborative events. So just like you mentioned, other events that are happening outside. So locally, I'll be connecting with the local lavender farm, and I'll be out there sharing mini
Oh,
Reiki. Well, they're not really mini, but they're actual Reiki sessions and card readings, just so that you can actually be physically in a calming space
okay.
connecting with that lavender herb while you're actually experiencing Reiki as well. So, intended to be a very calming experience, actually in nature and experiencing Reiki on an individual level while in nature. So, very unique to that space as well. So,
All right. Thank you so much. What else do we have for today?
ooh, that's a very good question. I feel like I've covered so much.
Most, I know. But there's still so much more that I am a love.
I know this is so true. There is so much more. I think one thing I would like to share that I haven't really shared too much of is that if you are someone who wants to expand in understanding Reiki further, I do also offer level one and level two and mastery training as well. So, and I do that on a very individual level. So if there's ever someone who's interested, it can be in person and it can be remotely because energy transcends time and space. So you can definitely register online or reach out to me online, and I can also train and certify you in level one, two, or three, so that that way, if you are already practicing yoga or already practicing meditation, you can expand that even further on an individual level too. So you don't have to necessarily participate in another space that is offering that. You can incorporate it in your own practices where you already are as well. So it's great because, like, as I mentioned, it's something that can be done online as well as in person. So it's very flexible to meet the needs of whoever's interested. So,
Ooh, I love this stuff. And by the way, I got to point out, great testimonials as always. I like hearing what clients have to say. Coming back, I'm so impressed from our last treatment. I want to look ahead, book you this month and next to feel more regular. Such great work, someone says. Love the interactive element of her journal prompts and meditation session. It encouraged me to reflect on past assumptions and limiting beliefs and realign them with my current values and direction. Also, someone else mentions it was just a truly amazing, relaxing experience. Was feeling a little stressed and anxious, so I made this appointment with Healing with Kourtney. Cannot wait for my next appointment. Highly recommend. So, what is the Healing with Kourtney package? What is that?
oh, so that's a good question. That is actually my original, the first reiteration of Niyama Love. That was kind of, it was Heal with Kourtney before it was Niyama Love. So that's why a lot of my, I kind of wanted to keep a little piece of that still incorporated into Niyama Love because there was a huge piece of that that really led me to where I am today. So the Heal with Kourtney side of it is very much the journey that we go on before we really get to the growth and expansion side is the healing side of things and really bringing light to areas of ourselves that need extra support and not necessarily and connecting with that not in a negative way but in a way of understanding. Again, that's where the Niyama portion came to expand upon. So yeah, I'd say Heal with Kourtney is kind of the first step in really connecting with the expansion of Niyama Love. So that's basically where we have the journaling prompts, more of a coaching experience as well. So that'd be more of reach out to me and I will be able to support in any way that is that you may need. Yeah, for sure. So and we make some sort of custom package. So I kind of used to make custom packages for individuals that would kind of support where you needed to go on your journey or some things that we could work together on. So that was again more of the journaling prompts, more of the belief systems. Sorry, more of understanding where those belief systems are held within you, and yeah, how you relate those to the outside world around you. So that's the Heal with Kourtney piece that really started to expand into the Niyama love, the Niyama.
Aw.
Yeah.
And what is like a typical day for you, right? So what at what time do you wake up? Do you credit like, yeah, how do you get the energy to help others with their energy?
You know what? That is a really good question, and I really appreciate you asking that. I do not run a typical busy day that you would expect. So I don't do the 5 in the morning wake ups, go for a run, have a meditation, do all of those things because it didn't feel natural to me. It felt, and you know what? This is something I was going to expand upon as well, is a typical day is slower. And not necessarily from a perspective of not connecting with clients or anything like that. I still have my allotted time for connecting with clients, but it's in a very balanced environment. So say for example, I've set very honoring, I like to say honoring boundaries.
Oh, did we lose you?
Oh, can
I
you see
lost
me?
your audio for a second. There
Yeah.
you go. You go. Go ahead.
Sorry about that. So yeah, I've really shifted my perspective on what a day-to-day experience might be. So say for example, I used to work the getting up at 5 a.m., running that whole 10-hour day, then going back, making my healthy dinner, eating my dinner, getting to bed at a decent time, but I felt like I was running on autopilot. So now my days have shifted to being slower, to being more at ease, and what the intention was actually, okay, well, what do I enjoy? enjoy? What do I want to spend more time doing? And then how can I turn that into something that really brings more purpose to who I am and what I value? And how can I um, connect with that in order to support my needs as well? So, and then I'm talking about basic needs. We all need money, we all need food, we all need shelter, we all need those things. So that's kind of how I've completely shifted the way that I interact on a day-to-day basis with my time. So I guess I'd say I wake up in the morning super late. I'd say super late, like maybe 7. I make some breakfast. I may bring my son to school, and then I come back and I have about 4 hours where I dedicate to my clients, to yoga, to whatever they need. And then again, I have a nice gap in time where I connect with myself, food, my family. And then in the evenings is really when I connect with others again as well. So it's almost like I have more recharge points throughout the day and really break up the time and break up the day in between client sessions so that way I can ensure that I have the energy I need to really support others. And then that way I also have reached a point where I can connect with my own boundaries and needs as well. So yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And one more time, remind us how we can contact you, please.
Yeah, so it would be at niyamalove.com at my website. So NIYAMALOVE.com. I'm also on Instagram as well. So Niyama Love Yoga and Reiki on Instagram. On Facebook, you can find me at Niyama Love. And I'm also on TikTok, not very often, but I'm still there. So that's niyamalove.ko as well. So, and you can email me off my website and I will typically get back to you pretty quickly.
Great. Thank you so much for today. Thank you for being here and looking forward to next time. We'll figure it out. Zoom, regular show, whatever it is, we're here.
Amazing. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much. Have a great day. Bye bye.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.